So this video is going to walk you through adding and subtracting fractions. We're kind of assuming this is review for you, so only going to do a few problems and I might go fast, so feel free to pause it at any time. We also are expecting you to take notes on these 5 problems, so make sure you bring these notes to your math teacher tomorrow. So 2 kind of big things you always want to remember when you're adding and subtracting fractions. Number 1, you always want to have a common denominator when you do this, and when you're all done, you need to ask yourself, is your answer in lowest terms? If you can remember those things, it should help you. Okay, so here's the first one. What I always suggest you do is write them up and down. This makes it really easy when you're finding your common denominators. So one kind of strategy that you could do to get your common denominator, I'm pretty sure you are all looking at this and you know it in your head, which is awesome. If you ever come to a point where you don't know what the common denominator is, take your 2 denominators and do this factor tower method. Nothing goes into either one of them, and then you can find the LCM. To find the LCM, remember you multiply all the numbers in the L. So hopefully you figured out that your least common multiple is going to be 30, which is your least common denominator. And if you keep them lined up and organized, you'll do a lot better. So now you have to ask yourself, what do I multiply this 5 by to get 30? And what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So up here you'll get a 24. Down here, what do you multiply 6 by to get 30? What you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Again, I know a lot of you are probably saying, do I really need to write all of that down? Just the first few problems I would, once you are proving to us that you can get it by doing it mentally. So you add your numerators to get 29. You add your nope, you don't add your denominator, sorry. Your denominator stays the same. When I look at 29/30ths, it cannot be simplified any farther, so that would be my final answer. Let's try this one. Again, first thing you want to do is just write them vertically. Common denominator. If you can do it in your head, go ahead. If you can't, come over here and make a factor tower. So my LCM would be 24. 2 times 1 times 4 times 3. So then, coming over here, and you have a denominator of 24. That's the first thing you would do. And then ask yourself, what do you multiply the denominator by to get 24? And that's what you do to the top, or the numerators. Down here, what do I multiply 6 by to get 24? 4. So then you multiply this by 4. Next step, hopefully you're a step ahead of me. You add the numerators up. 9 plus 20 is 29, and your denominator stays the same. Do not leave your answer like that. That's not simplified. You now want to turn this into a mixed number, which would be 1 and 5/24. If you need help turning it into mixed numbers, then you need to talk to your math teacher about that. But this is your final answer. 5/24 is in lowest terms, so we're good. Alright, number 3. Again, if I'm going too fast, pause it. We already have one fraction that's not in lowest terms, but again, find a common denominator. If you need to do some work over here, go ahead. Alright, my least common denominator is going to be 12 times 3, which is 36. So I know 12 times 3 is 36. So the numerator is 15 up here. And this is 24. If you don't show your work like this and you start getting a lot of problems wrong, one of the first things that we're going to ask you to do is then go back and redo your work. So if you don't want to do it this way, this is fine, but make sure you're not making any simple mistakes. So then when you add your numerators here, you get 39. Your denominator is 36, and again, you cannot leave it this way. You need to write it into a mixed number. So 36 goes into 39 one time with 3 left over. I am still not done. This is not in simplest form. Remember to put fractions in lowest terms. You could always do your factor tower. So my fraction would be 1 and 1/12. That is my final answer. Okay, now here's some subtraction ones. Pretty much the same steps, where you need to find the common denominator, but the end part you obviously subtract, the numerators. So my common denominator here, if you want to go through this, you can, to get it. So just pause the video, go through it, try to find it. Hopefully you're back with us and you got 24 as our common denominator. That's our least common multiple of 12 and 8. So we multiply 12 by 2. So we multiply the numerator by 2. Down here I do 8 times 3. So multiply the top by 3. Now I need to this time subtract my denominators. So 22 minus 15 equals 7. And you keep the same denominator. That's easy because it's in lowest terms. Woohoo! We don't have to do that part then. So that's subtracting. I'm going to give you one more. Oh, I want you to do something right now before you write this problem down. Go to the top left hand side of your paper where you're taking these fantastic notes that you have on your paper, and you need to write down what our OMS mascot is. What's our OMS mascot? If you don't go to Olson Middle School, like maybe you go to Oak Grove Middle School, then you need to write your mascot for your school. Your math teacher's going to check that tomorrow on your paper. Okay, anyways, let's go back to this problem. Common denominator of 5 and 3. If you don't know it, go over to the side and do that to figure it out, and then come back. Okay, hopefully you got 15 and you're working through it. Again, if I'm going too fast, just pause the video. Down here it's 3 times 5. And I'm subtracting again. So 12 minus 10 is 2/15. And again, I don't even need to simplify it. It's already in lowest terms. What a deal. So those are a quick 5 problems on how to add and subtract fractions. So now do the problems in the form, and here's the deal. We're going to be asking you to see your work for those problems. So if you come to class and you do not have your work, it doesn't count. So show your work. All right. Bye-bye.